I'm going to tell you exactly what happens when you ignore the red flags because I did it. I'm Joanna M. Cameron. I'm a mental health therapist. I'm a life coach. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a flight attendant. I am a 5-time author. I'm all the things, and even I ignored the red flags. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let me get started on telling you what happened to me. So, I talk about experiences for women over 40 and manifesting your dream life. Well, let me just preface this with saying I didn't pay attention to my own advice and I got burned. So, as sure as this color on the wall is red, the flags were the exact same color and I ignored them all. So, my dating experience where I ignored the red flag that I'm trying to help you not to ignore if it's a part of your life. There was this guy, and we'll just call this guy Jason. And so, Jason's a good name, right? But yeah, so we'll call him Jason. I met this Jason guy, and he was so charming, and he was very nice, and he would call me and he would compliment me, and we got to know each other and started spending time together. Well, I was new at dating because I was recently separated from my ex-husband at the time, and I was dating other people, and I said, okay, well, why not? Why not give Jason a chance? So I just added him to the list of people I was dating. Well, Jason and I started to get, a little bit closer and spend a little bit more time together talking on the phone. And, we didn't really go out many places. We really only went to like this one restaurant, and it was kind of like out the way a little bit. It wasn't like in town or where everybody hangs out. I was starting to, like this guy. And again, I was dating my now husband as well at the time. And so we were kind of new, and I was filling him out. And let me just tell you that when you put things on your vision board and you put things down on paper that you're looking for in a guy, pay attention to those things. I wasn't like super strong in my whole manifesting journey as far as manifesting people. Kind of a new thing for me in regards to I had put this on paper and what I wanted, my next relationship to look like. As we're getting to know one another, I'm starting to notice, he's not necessarily fitting all the things that, I had written down, and I'm starting to kind of feel a little pull and resistance, and I ignored it. But I kept talking, kept spending time with Jason because, like I said, he was a nice guy, and, from time to time we would spend time together. And I think my feelings started to develop more, but then he started telling me that his feelings were developing more. So I was like, okay, so maybe he does feel, what I'm feeling. And just be mindful of that, because guys will definitely tell you what you want to hear when they know you're trying to hear it. So we're spending time together. He would come to my house, and he would only be able to come when my children weren't available. I did not allow him to come and spend time with my kids or be around my kids because I, at the time, didn't know how serious this was going to be. And he was doing things for me. He would, help around the house. He would give me money to get things fixed, and even helped paint one of my children's rooms. And so I'm thinking, okay, he's showing himself. He's showing his worth. But I started to question, why do we only spend time at my house? Like, why aren't we ever going to your house? And I knew, because that was full disclosure, that he was going through a divorce. I'd seen the paperwork. He showed me the paperwork, and, he just said that they were going back and forth with the lawyers, and, that it was almost closed, and that, they didn't have a relationship anymore. And I know a lot of people would have said that's the red flag right there. But I know also that when you're over 40 and you're dating people who have past lives, that they go through things. And if you know anything about a divorce, they can take years sometimes. And so it wasn't that I wasn't expecting him to be dating. I just wanted him to be honest about the situation in regards to where he was with his wife and his ex-wife now. But I felt like he was being totally honest. And so, and like I said, he showed me paperwork that the divorce had been filed. As we're continuing to spend time together, I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable with the fact that I never was invited over to his house. So I just simply asked, well, let's go to your place and hang out. Well, this is what Jason said. I'm staying with my aunt right now because my wife, soon to be ex-wife, and I aren't getting along. And so I'm staying there, and my aunt doesn't really like for me to have women in and out of the house. Okay, I get it. She might, be older and have old school values, and I respect that. I'm not, trying to intrude in, her space. And so then time was just passing by, and he would drop by, and I, suggested, well, I don't have to stay there. I could just come by and visit. I'll just come outside. Well, she just really doesn't like company at all. Then my little spidey radar started going off, and I'm like, this just doesn't seem to be adding up. You probably already know where I'm going with this, but ultimately, he wasn't living with his aunt. He was still living with the soon-to-be ex-wife, who I later found out was not necessarily a soon-to-be ex-wife, because it all kind of came to a head. And so the red flag warning is, if a guy won't let you come to the space in which he lives, where he lays his head down every night, and he has this amazing excuse as to why you are not welcome to come visit him, even in the daytime, even on the curb, just to talk outside or sit on the porch, that's a red flag, and that's a problem. Do not ignore the non-invite to this person's home, because even if someone doesn't live alone, you should always be welcome at their space. And so I ignored my own red flag. I pretended like it was pink or maroon or something, but it was red. So I just want you to be mindful that when you start to hear excuse after excuse as to why you can't have something that you feel is very valid as a part of an everyday relationship, then it's time to back off. And I probably should have verified all of that, and probably should have known well in advance prior to allowing myself to fall deeper into this relationship. But again, I ignored it. I ignored that flag. I ignored other flags. In addition to the one that I just shared with you, also pay attention to the times that they're reaching out to you. If you're not hearing from them for a couple of days, or if you're only hearing from them at certain times of the day, and they're not answering the phone when you call, but you might get a text back, that might also be a red flag. So pay attention to that one. Now, I'm not saying that if a guy doesn't call you back right away, or, if they can't talk on the phone because they're at work during the day, or if they work night shift or whatever, and you know that those are the hours they work, then that's a little different. But if every time, or the majority of the time, that you're trying to reach out to them at certain times, or they're just not available at certain times, there's probably somebody else in their life. So don't ignore that red flag. Go with your gut, because your gut is going to tell you if something is not right, it's not right. And it's just best to avoid it. If you've been following along with me, you know that to manifest what you want in your life, write it down and then throw it on a vision board. But if you're paying attention to what you wrote down and what you put on your vision board, you're probably not going to find yourself in this situation. I just ignored the red flag, plain and simple. So I'm trying to help you avoid the mistakes that I made. So, all right. Those are the two red flags that I really want you to pay attention to right off the bat. If that person is not accessible, if they're only calling you at certain times and you can't get them on the phone when you're trying to call them at specific times, and they're only responding to you with a text, and they're only accessible and available when it's convenient for them, that's a red flag. And if you're not welcome to go to the place where they sleep each and every night, that's a huge red flag. So you can take heed or you can find out the hard way. But I just wanted to make sure that I did my daily duty and warned you. I'm Joanna M. Cameron. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, and share this video with someone who needs it, because somebody you know right now, even if it's not you, but somebody you know is ignoring these red flags. It doesn't matter how old you are, everybody can get got. And thankfully, I made it out of it and ended up with the other guy that I was dating, who is now my husband. And the red flags are no longer there. All right, so enjoy your day, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.